Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Blizzard Warning. I'm Kyzer Riddell. Joining me, Jenna Chavez.
Hello.
And shit, it's been actually a really, really exciting week of Avs hockey, is it not?
On the road, Avs hockey.
And we talked about that
Yes, we
all
did.
last week about how important this road trip was gonna be.
Okay, wait, Kaiser, before we start anything, I just have to give myself a shout out that I totally called last Wednesday's game.
100% you called it.
Oh
All
my
right.
god.
You called it 100. I said four
You
to
got
two
the
Avs,
score. You got the
but
score.
like I got the Avs score right, but you got the overtime on the money. All right, shout out to Jenna.
when it came across my watch that it went into overtime, I was like, no.
Yeah, all right, so that was a wild, wild game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this Vancouver game because let's talk about how important that game was though. Like
Oh, that Vancouver
top two
game was
teams in the West battling it out, and
yeah,
like
super important
it
game.
really felt like a playoff game. Like
Yeah,
it really felt like a playoff game.
but we
McKinnon,
went down so early. Like,
yeah, that
what was
was
it? 24 seconds in, they scored. I was like, no.
yeah. We went down what 2-0 early.
2-0 in the first 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, all right. That's something we can't be doing. But
No.
luckily, we have all of this scoring power and point production and
And it was just
our
like
four
those
lines.
those first two goals, it was sheer laziness on a part of the defense. And
Oh yeah,
unfortunately,
100%. It was
the
ugly.
defensemen that were out there were Makar and Taves. So,
It
and
was pretty ugly to
it
start off the game. It was like they're
oh,
just.
man, it's just
But then
slow
again,
and
on top of that, Vancouver came out super
so
fast.
fast, and
Like
we
they were in it to win it, like from the get go. And I thought, okay, cool, it's about time to turn this off. I'm gonna go to bed.
yeah, yeah.
But no, then next thing you know, it's 2-2, and then
We finally showed life at the end of the second period when McKinnon scored, and
oh yeah,
then
like when
and
Miko got
then
that goal in the second period to bring us within one or within two was
mhm,
huge. Just
yeah,
going into the third period,
yeah, and
kind of
then
needed some momentum coming out of the
at the
second.
start of the
Sorry.
third period, we only had 16 shots on goal.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
if you pay attention to the shots on goal, you can kind of almost predict what is gonna happen with the game.
Well, I mean,
Like
shit. In the third period, we held Vancouver to only 3 shots in the entire
yeah,
third period.
it's amazing. Finally showed life, yeah. And then we scored on the two-man advantage, which
That was huge.
if you can't score on a two-man advantage, you don't deserve to win the game, is my belief.
100%. I agree with you.
Yeah. And yeah, they finally showed life in the third and straight up just clawed their way back.
Well, McKinnon came out like a man possessed in the
Dude,
third
he had
period.
that look that you do not like as Avs fans, you
We
always
love to
wanna see
see
that
it,
look,
but if you're a
but as
Vancouver
you
fan,
if
you're like,
you're on
oh,
the
we're
other
screwed.
yeah, if you're on the receiving end of that look, you do not ever wanna see that look on that man's face
He
because
was
you
definitely
know
a man possessed.
shit's about to get real, and that goal that he had on that man advantage, like, it was in and out so fast, it was a rocket, like,
Well, he didn't even
the
celebrate. He just gave him that pissed off
he
look,
was just
hey,
like,
we're here.
"Back, and we're back, like, carry on."
Well,
And then,
the big
yeah,
highlight of that whole game, honestly, the Chushkin with the headbutt goal.
the visor off the butt, and I
Like,
love how he, like, straight up went like this as he was, like, going to celebrate. He's just,
he's
like,
did I get
laughing,
it?
and I was just
He's like, did that
yeah,
really
totally.
just
Thank
happen?
thank goodness he's one of the players that has to wear a visor, or that play would not have been that way.
Well, I mean,
It
it
would
still
have
might have gone in, but it would have hurt.
There would have been some blood involved.
Talk
His nose
about
at an
talk
angle.
about clearing the crease.
His nose would be at an angle like Max's now.
Well, what's cool about it though is like seeing that and like that just kind of just goes to show how important Oshushin is to this club because he's a big body, he always places his ass right in front of the goalie, right in front
Always,
of the net.
yeah, that
And
screen that
with
he
him in front of the
throws.
net like that, we create opportunities just like that, which gave us a huge 2 points against Vancouver.
Yeah,
Like a
much needed
huge 2 points.
and a huge road win. Like, straight up, we needed to win on the road. Like,
Well, yeah, like Vancouver's one of those teams that's just really hard to play in their building.
in their building, it's loud. It's loud.
Yeah, they have really loud fans. Like I
Mhm.
thought, like I really thought that you know the us Avs fans were pretty damn loud in our arena, but oh man, you could
Like,
literally hear them through the TV on how loud that
no.
crowd was. Like it was,
Yeah.
the cameras were shaking, and
Uh-huh.
it was
It's loud.
wild to
It's
watch.
loud. Like, I can't imagine playoff hockey there.
Oh, me either.
Holy cow.
Like
Holy cow.
it,
And I mean, and like we had assists by McKinnon. Makar had 2 assists in that game. Miko, because Makar had the deflection off the visor.
yep.
Middle Middlestat, Taves, and Wood, they all had assists. So I mean, and I love
Yeah,
to
like
see the
we're
defense.
showing point production throughout all 4 lines ultimately,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is really crucial. That's why we made the moves we made at the deadline was so
Mhm.
we could have more depth and have true depth scoring.
Right.
I mean, like if,
So
at the end of the game, like we finished with third, we outshot Vancouver 34-21.
yeah,
Our
and
face off percentage is a little lacking still. We need to get better in the face off circle. But
Josh,
overall, like, that was just a well thought, hard game.
it really was. It
And the
really was.
crazy stat that really, like, blew me away when I saw it was Vancouver had 22 blocked shots.
No.
Like, 22 blocked shots, and we only had 2.
Yeah. It's
Like,
crazy.
that's just, like, that shows how good they are defensively if they're blocking that many shots, and it also shows we're putting a lot of pucks towards the net.
Yeah, and I I will say it until I will die on that mountain. If we get shots on goal, we win games.
As long as we have more than 30 shots on goal.
As long as we have more than 30 shots. 30 shots is key. 30 is my number. I like 30. 30 and more.
30 and more. All right,
So
well, then
now,
let's
okay. So I have a question.
okay.
So this story came out after the Edmonton win that Colorado did not travel to Edmonton right away as they normally would. They stayed in Vancouver an extra day and had a private, security protected, unannounced practice. No media, no nothing. And it was held at the same time as Vancouver, I guess, on a different like practice ice that they have.
Uh-huh.
So we held it in their facility, and then after that practice, then we went to Edmonton. Do you think that that played any role in that road going into
Um,
that Edmonton
I mean,
game?
it could have because like they did their practice because I mean, like traveling like throughout Canada, you have a lot of elevation change. It's kind of hard on you. Like if once you travel from one spot to the next, then you go in to do a morning skate practice and type thing. And like I think Bednar just wanted to just have a private team practice and just actually kind of rips on the guys for some of the mistakes we made during the Vancouver game. And
Well, and
the coach
if
doesn't want
I
media or anyone around when he's basically ripping the team for stupid mistakes and laziness.
right, and if I remember correctly, the year that we won the cup, when we would have those, like, private team things, we usually win on some, like, crazy tears. Like,
Yeah.
other teams should be scared. When that story broke, I was like, "Oh, other teams should definitely be worried," because
Yeah, because like,
I don't
Bedner's not one that really does the private practices a whole lot, but when he does, it's
yeah,
because he's pretty much ripping
like
the team on laziness or something that they're completely just lacking on.
and I wonder what Landy's role is in those practices.
Oh, he's a bench boss, basically.
I think that because 'cause I've seen pictures of him talking to, like, players and stuff on the ice, and so I think that he has taken, like, kind of a coaching
Yeah,
position role.
he's basically just being a player bench boss, which is huge. Like, he's a
Yeah,
big presence on the bench just because,
'cause
like, he's helps keep these young kids motivated.
he's the captain.
Like, he shows exactly why he's the captain,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. Like, the one thing like, that I do see when Bedsy does do the private practice, it's also a team building chemistry thing to where they're just
Mhm.
you don't want a bunch of fans watching the practice, you don't want a
Yeah.
bunch of media there, like, you just wanna have some just fun team building,
Mhm.
like, keep the morale up on the squad so no one's you know
And I think sometimes Bednar, I don't even think it is strictly just, like, ripping their ass. I think that
No.
he just wants it to be an intimate team, like you said, a team building, like, "Hey, let's just gel as a team and just skate."
Yeah. Like, and I mean, I think that, like, as we're gonna go into right now, is talking about the Edmonton game.
Yeah.
Like, I think that
So,
did have a huge, like, part in it because, yeah, in a way, that
they
is kind
came
of a
out
mental game. It is kind of a
they
mental game.
it is, and, I mean, who better to fuck with than Edmonton,
Yeah.
in my opinion, of course, especially since, Georgiev's living rent free in McDavid's head.
Oh, yeah, Georgie is just, like, he's
Mm. His mansion
ripping
he's just, like,
McDavid.
decorating his mansion
Like
ever
like,
since the All-Star game.
starting that game, you have Walker comes out strong and buries a
Dude,
beautiful shot.
flying down the ice.
Like, he is
Flying.
fast.
Yeah,
So, like, Walker gave us the 1-0 lead. I'm like, "Alright, cool, here we go."
yeah,
Comes out the second period halfway through, it was a tight first period, like,
it was I mean,
Edmonton held
Georgiev
us only 7 shots, we held them down to 10 shots, like, it was
and
a it was, like, opportunity after opportunity, like, McDavid had, like, 3 separate scoring chances, and Georgie
he
stoned
had
him.
that he had that wraparound goal that should have just been so and Georgiev was just like, "Nope, sorry."
I mean, we played really well, like, we were clearing the crease, we were making sure we were cleaning up the garbage in front of the net, it was awesome to see.
Fast, we
We
were playing
we
fast.
literally kept Edmonton basically, they were icing the puck constantly.
Yeah, constantly.
Like,
And then
they
they had
just could never get a line
no
change because they
goal.
were just scared to they couldn't
I
get it out of their own zone.
Yeah, and then they had the no goal
And then they did have the goal that got waved off for,
kicking,
kick-in,
kicking, yeah.
which was I mean, that was a huge thing. I was nervous about that.
I was too.
And
And
then
then
but
they
then the problem is, like, we came out slow in the 3rd period. Like, we gave up 2 goals that were the first one was not Georgie's fault at all. It was a
no,
weird shot,
it was so
like,
bizarre.
nothing you could really do there.
No,
Like, it took a weird bounce off a player in front of the net and
and just went in.
just happened to find its way in the twine.
Yeah,
However, the Sam Carrick goal was a nice goal. That was just a shot that he had no chance on.
yeah, yeah,
So
for sure.
that gave them 2-1 lead.
Mhm.
And then, I'm getting nervous here thinking like, "Oh, we're about to lose our winning streak here."
Right.
Then guess who comes at it again? Sean Walker
Walker!
with another beautiful shot to tie it up,
Yeah,
assisted by Druin and Middlestat.
yeah,
And
yes.
that's again the what I was saying about our deadline acquisitions. Like, Walker has been incredible as of late. He's
And you know who else I will also say Middlestat has been pretty involved as well.
Middlestat's he's controlling the play a lot, which is nice.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
gets in the
No,
high
and
slot and he actually like makes good plays, looks for the right
mhm.
pass.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he's
really turn
very
over the puck as much.
no, he's very involved in the play when he's on the ice. I have noticed.
And then, of course, for our second game in a row, we're going to overtime. But
Yeah,
guess who gets the game winner with half a second left with a feed from McKinnon
liking
to
it.
Arturi Lehkonen to bury it. Like,
Yeah.
nobody even knew he buried it. Like, he didn't even think he buried it. It was just like, oh shit,
No,
that was
the announcer actually said, "Oh, it's stop. Oh, wait, no, it's goal."
it. Like, I was kind of confused. I was like, wait, did that go in? Did it go over the net? Like, what the hell happened? Or like, did
Right?
he get it in
Yeah,
the net in time?
right. It's like, what
So it
was
was
that,
like,
2 or 3 years ago when Burakovsky had the puck that went through the net?
oh yeah, that one was
They
that was
had
a wild. It's like
that
everyone's
was
kind of like,
so
um,
crazy. I was like,
what just happened?
yeah,
Was
that
that a
was
goal?
yeah, that was crazy. So, yeah,
Refs are over there looking at the net for the fucking rip. That was
mhm,
wild. That was
yeah,
crazy to watch. But
yeah.
so
So,
we ended up
Likeman,
getting a
yeah,
win against Edmonton. Another crucial 2 points on the road,
yeah,
and that
43 shots on goal.
created our 6 game winning streak.
Yeah, yeah,
Then, I mean, I just love seeing how much McDavid was getting stopped. Like
I know. It
watching
makes
the national broadcast was so hard because all they talked about was McDavid this, McDavid that. Oh my god, here
high
comes McDavid.
title, blah, blah, blah.
Edmonton this, Edmonton that. I'm like, dude, you guys just lost. And you're saying how like amazing this team is.
Yeah, like, please spare me.
Like I get it, but like you don't got to show that much bias to one team
I
as
know.
a national broadcast.
Yeah.
Well, then so we ended up going. We ended up having what a couple of days off,
Mhm.
and we traveled all the way to St. Louis.
I thought we played here.
Nope, we were in St.
Oh,
Louis.
sorry, my bad. I was
You're
not paying
okay.
attention. My bad.
Yeah, we ended our road trip in St. Louis.
Gotcha.
A good Western Conference Canadian swing with throw in St. Louis in there at the end.
Right?
I mean, that game was wild to watch. Like
Yeah,
Miko scores with like 6 minutes into the game.
I know.
Then Nathan Walker scores for them. That ties it up. It's like, okay, we're gonna go back and forth.
Yeah,
Second
Walker.
period, second period comes out. Then they take St. Louis takes the lead. And then, of course, as you were saying before, Casey Middlestat comes out, ties the game.
Mhm.
Tied 2-2. Then here comes Braden Shen. St. Louis up 3-2. Great. Then on the power play, Miko gets another beautiful tip in to tie it.
Yep.
And then in the third period, at the 4:15 mark, Miko buries it from a
For the
pass
hat.
from the Chushkin for a hat trick.
Yeah.
What was that? His
Oh,
seventh hat trick of his
7th
career.
7th career hat trick for the
Seventh
Moose.
career hat trick.
Yeah.
Unbelievable to see. Even though, like, I've had a lot of bad words about
Yeah, a couple
Nico
weeks
lately.
ago,
It's
you
been a
had
hot
some
take to
hard
people because
you had
he has
you had a
not
hot
been
take.
playing well.
He's been a little yeah,
He's
yeah.
been sluggish.
Even
He's been just not overall Miko Rantanen. Like,
even Likenen's dad got involved in that conversation.
yeah. So, like, but
So it was good
seeing
to
him get
see
his
that.
seventh career hat trick is incredible.
Yeah.
Following not too long ago, Makar getting his first hat trick.
Yeah. Ever.
So, I mean, it just shows how well this team is gelling. And we actually were able to win this game in regulation. We didn't give St.
Yeah.
Louis a point. We
Yeah.
didn't have to go to a third straight overtime game. Thank
No. Thank
goodness.
goodness.
but we had literally 4 wins in a row on the road,
Yeah.
which, as we talked about last week, we have to
We
start
need
winning
to.
on the road. And look what we do. We go and sweep our road trip.
Yeah.
The Avs are on a
And
7-game win streak right now. And going 4-0 on the road, it was crucial and incredible.
yeah, that was a the crucial road trip. And I think it's incredibly important to note that that was probably one of the best road trips we've had all season, and it's post trade deadline.
Well,
So
the
we're
only, the
locked.
only the only issue I had with the road trip was the 2 overtime games. But then
Yeah,
again,
I mean, like, let's not take
those
it
are
to over.
2 playoff hunting teams that are quality teams. So like
Mhm.
it's kind of expected in a way, but we got to be able to play a little better defense early in the game, keep
Yeah,
them
to
from
keep it so
staying
that we
in the game.
so that we can win in regulation.
But I mean, if you look at it, like because of that, with it being a Western Conference road trip, all four, like 8 of those points were huge because
Oh,
now we are
crucial.
literally tied with Winnipeg with
Mhm,
93 points at the top of the Central.
mhm,
And we were tied. We did have a three-way tie between us, with the Stars, and the
mhm.
Jets, but the Stars ended up losing last night, so they ended up not picking up the other 2 points that they needed, which is
Right,
crucial for us.
right, yeah.
So, like, I have a feeling the Central Division is going to come down to the wire, like the last couple games of the season. And
Mhm.
we still have like 2 or 3 more games against Winnipeg.
Well, and we played Dallas too.
And we still have a couple games against Dallas as well. So those are crucial must-win games if we want to continue our streak of Central Division champs.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
I'm also like looking at it and wanting to be like crucial in winning more games too, so we could possibly win the number 1 seed in the West.
I just don't want the President's Cup. I
I
just
don't want the President's Trophy. That could stay in the Eastern Conference all at once. Like stay over there.
give them to
Fine.
Boston. Did give it to whoever,
Keep it
but
in the Eastern Conference. I don't care.
I don't I don't want it.
I just
I just
want number 1 in the West. That's all I want. I want to overtake Vancouver and be number 1 in the entire Western Conference, so we have that number 1 seed and
all I
secure
want.
home ice
That's all I want.
because we still have the best home record in the entire league. So us
Mhm.
getting that number 1 seed and getting home ice throughout
It's
the
gonna
playoffs would be huge.
it would be huge, and I
Like that
think
would make a huge difference in starting a series up 2-0 instead of and then going on the road instead of having to play on the road and possibly be down 2-0 or
yeah,
tied 1-1. Like
yeah,
we just don't lose at home. So having that at home would be crucial.
yeah.
And then on top of
Well, and
that,
then
with McKinnon getting a point last
yeah,
night,
it's
he
what
continued to a 17-game point streak.
was it 16 or 17?
I believe it was 17 games.
It was 16 or 17. It was one of the two.
16 or
Um,
17, but he's still got his point streak going. His home point
yeah,
streak is still alive and well. And with that coming up, we do come home on Friday against Columbus.
Columbus
So he can continue that point streak at home, which would be huge. But the
and
Columbus game,
Sunday with
the
Pittsburgh.
yeah, Columbus isn't playing too well. So I mean,
No,
they could be an easy point, but you can't sleep on them. They
no,
are still a good team.
yeah, absolutely. And then with
And
Pittsburgh coming in on Sunday, we just need to be. Well, I mean, Pittsburgh's not great this year. I forget. I'm
Pittsburgh
so
won't
used
be an easy team, but then again, Pittsburgh's not doing so hot since they got rid
Yeah,
of Gensel.
yeah. Well, and Pittsburgh is just they're just not a
They're
good
in
team.
rebuild mode.
Yeah, they're in a rebuild.
So, I mean,
One
being in
thing
a
we for
rebuild.
one thing we forgot to cover in last night's win is Annanen getting
Oh,
his
yes,
fourth
you are
straight
correct. his
Win.
fourth straight win and starts. Like he has won
Um,
every game he has started since the deadline.
I would just like to say that all of the fans crickets about the goalie situation.
Oh yeah, everyone crying because we didn't trade for a goalie. Well, look at this. Ananen has won his last four starts
Or
in
2 have
beautiful
been
fashion
shutouts.
and actually tracking the puck well, playing
Mm.
really, really good hockey, good
Oh my god,
rebound control,
just
good puck
beautiful.
movement. Like
Staying in the crease well, reading the puck beautifully, like,
his angles are on point.
yeah, like, he is just yeah, he is seeing the puck so well right now.
Yeah, thank you for
Like,
bringing that up. I completely forgot to touch on that.
I just needed to touch on that because 'cause I'm super
Oh, no,
excited
I
about it.
agree with you wholeheartedly because, like,
Yeah.
I kinda just wanted, like it's kind of a slap to the face of everybody that literally was crying about us not getting a
About not
goalie at the
going after
deadline.
Fleury.
Like, we are happy with where we're
I
at.
was not I was not a fan of going after Fleury to begin with, so I was fine with it. But all those fans and they're like, "Oh, da, 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 da," and I was like, "Whatever, it'll be fine." Like I trust Bednar, and I listened to him a few weeks ago on Altitude that Wednesday leading up to the trade deadline. And
Yeah.
I knew in that interview that we were not going to do anything with the goalie situation, and I was fine with that because I could hear from his voice that he had complete confidence in the decisions that were being made. And at the end of the day, he knows more than I do. So I think that there's a reason.
Yeah, I'm like, I agree, like, I have faith in our upper management, I have faith in our coach.
Yeah.
Like, when he came out on Altitude Radio and he did his segment, like, in the morning as he normally does, he literally
Mhm.
said, "I have all full confidence in our goaltender situation." I
Yeah.
have
On all
and, like, with
3
him talking about
goaltenders.
how well his Edmonton's relationship is with our goaltending coach is also a big part of that.
Yeah. Like, he really emphasized that actually,
Like,
like,
he
that was a
emphasized that a
huge
lot on how, like, that relationship and the chemistry that him and the goaltending coach have, and
it's like
that's crucial to, like, coming from, like, Bender's gonna go to the goaltending coach and be like, "Hey, is he ready? Is he gonna be okay?" And it's
mhm,
goaltending coach is like, "He's incredible right
you're
now.
right. Yeah,
Start him."
and I think a lot of fans forget that Annunen is young.
Yeah, he's a
He's a
young kid.
young goalie, you guys, like, goodness gracious.
Well, like, if he the sky's the limit for this kid, and
Yeah,
if
like,
we're able to
I mean,
actually finally develop a quality
if
goaltender
I mean, this could be a we could be looking at a future franchise goalie, like
goaltender, yeah, which I'd
yeah,
love to see.
which is n I don't think we've ever done it
Yeah, we haven't really had a goalie that we kept and actually developed and kept with us
from
from start to
draft
the end.
yeah, from draft through, you
Like,
know.
we tend
So,
to end up
I'm excited. I'm excited.
too, like, the Avs have always, like, tried to just go after those veteran goaltenders, and now we're actually trusting in Annunen so we can develop him to be that veteran starter later on down the road and not
Yeah,
have to go after some veteran guy from some other team.
right. Especially considering that teams wanted I mean, they wanted so much for goalies. There
Yeah,
was no way we could
the
get a
asking price was too
goaltender.
high. The asking price was
There was no way.
no, and we were already
No.
struggling with the cap, with our
No,
cap
God.
issues, so
Yeah.
with us, which was proving still proving to be Johansson was the greatest move that we ever got rid of at the deadline
Oh
because of
my
the fact that
god.
he opened up cap space for us to bring in Middlestat, to bring in Walker and Duhaime, and what's up, Matt? How's it going, bud? Thanks for jumping in. But, like, on top of that, like, it just shows how and then now because of that, the Abs are really, like since he's left, it seems like the team has better chemistry and cohesion on the ice, and they're playing
Yeah.
so much better. because of our acquisitions and getting rid of the one toxic locker room trait that we
Mhm.
had in Johansson.
Oh my gosh, it is. And I feel like his behavior since he left has just proven that he was the issue because the Avs have just been on a complete uptick since he has been gone. And who got him? The Flyers?
The Flyers.
Flyers have a shit show on
But
their
then
hands
but then
because
just recently, the Flyers are up in arms trying to go after the Avalanche, saying that he
that
was
we
injured and we didn't disclose an injured that he was
yeah,
injured to them. And you go through a
I'm like,
physical.
"You have doctors. Maybe you should go talk to them?"
Like that's on in my opinion, that's all on the Flyers organization for not
Oh,
really like scouting
100%.
properly when they were going after him.
And anybody that knows anything about the Avs organization knows that we do not make players play through injuries.
No, not at all.
No,
If they play through injury, that's on them
it's
and
a
they choose to.
choice. The
They
only
choose to.
ones right. Like, the only ones that I can say, like, easily and they were not forced to, they chose to, Landy, Kadri, Nichushkin,
Nichushkin.
all those guys, the year that
But
we
that's because they have
won
that
the
drive in the playoffs.
they
They have that
they
playoff drive.
wanted
They don't
to
wanna sit down. They wanna win the cup, and they're gonna
they
put their
wanted
body
to
on the line.
Yep,
So
exactly.
that's just hockey player mentality. We
It's
don't pretend to be hurt. We pretend we're not hurt.
right, exactly.
So,
So,
like, going like, since we were talking on Annunen and, like, our acquisitions, who do you think is our the best players on this team that are not McKinnon or Makar since the trade deadline?
well, okay, so I totally forgot that Logan O'Connor's out for the season. So he was my one of my players, which I'm still like I think that he played a key role leading
Up to the deadline, he was huge. He's big key
up
role.
until his injury, like he was yeah, and I love the future that I see for Logan O'Connor. Um, he is just he is I like his tenacity on the ice. I like the energy he brings on the
He's a
ice.
gritty player.
I love it because he is not afraid. If there is a scrum on the ice and he is
Oh,
on
he's
the
the
ice,
first one in it.
he is in it. And I love that.
Well, like, it
But
makes me sad that he's, like, having to have that shoulder surgery
I
and
know.
he's out for
But
the season because he was
I'm
having
so
a career
oh,
year.
career year. But maybe that'll help the Avs be able to keep him because I'm kind of worried that we might not be able to keep him next
We'll
year.
re-sign him. We're definitely gonna be re-signing him.
I
There's no
hope
doubt
so
because
because
he fills out that Ross Colton and Wood
he's
line
oh,
perfectly.
the Roaring 20s.
The Roaring 20.
And
Like,
Nathan Walker is a number 22, funny
so,
enough.
like, with Walker filling in his place, like, over there, like, it's kinda nice. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
the way my
oh,
personal favorite, since the
yeah,
deadline has been Walker.
yeah,
Like, he has been incredible. He's
mhm.
skating the puck really well. He's super fast.
Yeah,
He's making really, really good plays
good
on the ice.
yeah,
Like,
hockey
it's
IQ is good.
like Walker is so good. Like, he's brought
Yeah,
more depth and good quality scoring depth since we picked him up, and he's proven it. He's got like 5 points with us already
mhm,
because he had two
yeah,
goals just last game.
right, yeah.
Or,
And
yeah,
then the other player I would throw in that too, actually, is Middlestat. Because Middlestat, he's played 5 games with us. He has 2 goals, 2 assists, and is a +5, averaging about 15.5 minutes of ice
which is
time.
that's about his average what he was with when he was
Yeah,
over with
and it's
Buffalo. So
funny because I read somewhere a fan, that is really pissed that we got rid of Bo Byram and is just irate about it.
everyone's
Uh,
still salty about Byram, and I'm
I
like,
know, and
I
I loved Byram. I loved him, but I completely understand what they did, why they did it, and I
we have too
agree.
much depth as it is in defense, and we needed forwards to fill out
And
forward scoring lines. We needed a
He
center, and we have too much
and
depth in D.
honestly, it was best for him too, which people are not willing to
Well,
look
yeah,
at
exactly.
or
Like I've been standing
he's
on this hill since we got rid of him. Was he can
he's
shine? He doesn't have to sit behind Makar's shadow.
he's doing great in Buffalo. He's doing great in Buffalo because he's not under the Makar Caves shadow anymore. Like,
Exactly.
he's doing amazing, and I wish him nothing but the best. Like, and
Yeah.
you know what? At the end of the day, he still gets to say, "I was 6 days past my 21st birthday when I lifted the cup." So, congratulations, Bo. Best of
Yeah, like,
luck.
I wish him the best. He's a hell of a player, and, like, I'm gonna hate playing against him because he is good, but
Yeah. But
he's
so
just
they called Middlestat lazy, and I was looking so I, like, went and looked at his numbers, and I was like, "Where's where's the laziness? The +5 and we're using the lazy word? Like, really?"
the man is far from
But
lazy. Like, Middlestat
I was
gets to
like,
the slot, and he actually makes things happen with the
"I
puck.
love the way
He's
Middlestat
really
plays."
strong puck handling. He's he's fast too. He add more speed to our
He adds
lineup,
more speed
which
to our
we were
lineup.
already the fastest team in the league above Edmonton. Now
Oh, yeah.
we get these accusations at the deadline, and we're even faster, and it makes us
Faster.
even scarier.
Yeah, and I've
And
seen
we've proved
multiple
that though, because we've won 7 games in a row, and our speed has been one of the key reasons that we've been winning as consistently as we have.
mhm. Yeah,
And
so
the
I don't see this whole laziness thing that they talk of. I think
And then,
that
like,
they just
my
have
other player yeah, see, I don't know why they call him lazy, like, he's far
they have
from
a
it.
blind it's because they have a blind spot for Byram and they're pissed and they can't they
He's in
just
my
they
heart too,
can't
but he can
yeah,
still be
they just
great in
there's
Buffalo.
there's fans that can be rational about what happens and there's fans that can't, and they just
Yeah,
can't.
like, my other, like, key to our success too since,
I
you
think
know, the
we
deadline
agree
is
on this one.
Annunen, like,
Oh, yeah.
without like,
Yeah.
Annunen has been huge. Him
Yeah.
and Georgie both in net. Annunen's won his last 4
4.
starts,
Yeah.
which has contributed to our 7-game win streak.
Right.
You know, but, like, the only thing I've got a bad issue to say about Georgie is he just gives up early goals way too
Way
easily.
too easy. Like, and
And
they're
then he finally
soft
figures it out.
goals.
Then he finally figures himself out, and the next thing you know, then he becomes, you know, the Georgie Wall we like to see. But
Right. But I
it,
don't like to
it
be on
takes
our
us blowing
heels.
down and having a deficit for us to actually like pick up our pace at sometimes, and
Yeah.
that's a big
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Like I don't think
The
we've
other
led a game for more than a period in a while.
yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And
aside
Annan
from
like,
maybe yesterday when Walker got the first goal.
yeah. And Annanen, like, the last 4 starts, he has just been in control from puck drop. Like, he is just
He
on
had
it.
that one where he gave up 2 goals and 4 shots, but the first one was a weird tip, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
Second one,
It
his
was just
glove
a
was a
good
little
goal.
slow, it's okay.
It was just a good goal.
Like, it's but he
Yeah.
shines the
My
rest of the
other
game.
player that I yeah. Exactly. The other player that I would say that I mean, he wasn't acquired, but he did return to the team after the trade deadline,
Val
and that
Nichushkin,
is Val Nichushkin.
our big
And,
boy in front of the net.
yes, and I hope that being away and being in the players assistance program, I hope that he got everything worked out, not just for the team's sake, but for him and his family. But the team's numbers with him versus without
Oh,
him are
you can
staggering.
tell how
We
bad
are
we
a
play when he's
below
not in
5
the
we
lineup.
are a below we are a below 500 team without him in the lineup. A
Yeah.
below 500 team.
But, like, we
Like,
get it, and we
and
have, like, an
he
85% win percentage because of the fact
yeah,
of him being in the lineup.
yeah.
Like,
He's played 45 games, 25 goals, 24 assists, and is a +10.
He's
Like,
sitting there with 49 points right now, and he's he's
and
showing
he
why
is.
he's so crucial to this organization.
I
Like,
think that he continues to show and prove why the Avalanche prioritized his signing over Kadri's on a regular basis.
and he proves it, and
And
like
I will
I loved
stand
having
behind
Kadri, but he had that weird cheeky attitude. I was kind of glad to see him go. And like Nichushkin, he's just a laid back, humble guy. He just wants to
I
play
just
some puck and win
he
games.
he plays Avs hockey and I like it.
Like he's one of the reasons we have this Avalanche style hockey because he puts his big butt in front of the net and he makes the puck
Yeah,
go in.
yeah.
Like
He
his game
showed
winner
that
in OT a couple games ago, like against Vancouver. He literally soccer player headbutted it off his damn visor.
off the visor.
Like
Straight in.
it was pretty. His nose would have been
It's
broke if it wasn't for that visor.
oh,
But
man, thank God for the visor, but,
like
like and I just yeah, I love his
I feel like he
attitude,
touched it
and
afterwards. I was
yeah,
like
he was
okay.
and as he was skating to the celebration, he was laughing, and he hit his visor, and, then they played the replay and showed it, and I was like, "Oh, thank God he has to wear that visor." Like, I don't know if his nose would have had enough ricochet to send it in, but there would have been blood regardless. Either way, it would have been a bloodbath.
Yeah, and also watching the our I hope we don't spend many more games in overtime because our 3-on-3 team has been looking
I
a
hate
little off.
I hate our I hate our overtime
Just
setup. I really
I mean,
do.
unless
I
it's
don't
McCarr, Rantanen, and McKinnon out there, it's kind of like
shaky.
they're
And
just
even
playing
then,
hot potato with the puck.
yeah, I actually sometimes prefer it when we put 2 defensemen and a forward.
See, I like when we do that too,
I
but
like it when we do Makar, Taves, and Miko. That's my favorite
that's a
3.
pretty good set. I think
I
Middlestats
love
gonna make a
when
huge
we
difference.
when we throw that 3-on-3 on, I get excited. But when
I
it's
think
McKinnon,
Middlestat being centering on one of the OT lines would be huge too because he can move the
yeah,
puck really.
he does move the puck really good, and he's just
He has
involved.
really good vision, like ice vision. He
Mhm, he
finds
sees
the open lane to make the proper pass, and it's tape
almost
to tape.
very almost McKinnon-ish,
Almost, yeah. I
almost.
mean, he's
Like,
still young. I mean, Middlestat's still young,
yeah.
so
So, I
he's
mean,
only going to get better. And I think we're only getting him on loan basically for the year, and then he's
yeah,
probably going to be bye next
we're
season.
probably
But
not gonna
he's
resign
going
him.
to be a huge key to our success come playoff time.
Well, and I've seen several articles, and not just Denver writers, since the trade deadline, that are saying that that Colorado made the similar acquisitions that they did back in 2022 when we won, and
Yeah,
that
you
teams
can even account
teams
that
should
you
be
can look at
concerned.
2001 back in the day.
Mhm.
We made similar acquisitions back then too that
Yeah,
brought us the cup in '01.
yeah, and the President's Trophy.
Yeah, I don't like the
I
President's
don't want it.
Trophy.
I don't want it. No, I
I
don't
still
want it.
think the
I'm not
President's
saying
Trophy's cursed.
I just wanted to brag, that's all. I don't want it. I just wanted to brag, that's it.
Yeah, I still think the President's Trophy's cursed.
I do. There's only been, I think, 13 teams that have won it and won the cup, so I don't want it anywhere near Colorado. Send
Yeah,
it
no.
east, send it to Texas, send it west, send it to Vegas. I don't care. Just do not send it here.
Yeah. Well, and then on the McKinnon note, on his race with Kucherov, he's now trailing Kucherov by a point after Kucherov had a 5-point game randomly. And next thing you know,
Well,
now McKinnon's sitting at 117 points. Kucherov's sitting at 118. How the hell
well,
is he finding such success in
yeah,
Tampa?
but we're coming home, so McKinnon will go off and he'll have, a 6-point game or something
Well,
crazy.
hopefully, I mean, I think it should be an easy win against Columbus on Friday, but like I
I
said,
would like
you can't
to
really
too.
sleep
I
on them.
and I don't think the Avs will. I think the Avs are in. I think they're locked in. and they know that every game is
It's
important,
crucial.
and they are ready to go.
Yeah, they know the, like, importance of these upcoming games and
Yeah.
how huge it's gonna play into for us to win the division, secure our high seed in the to going into the playoffs.
Mhm.
Like, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see
Yeah.
how the wild card shifts because if we end
I'm
up winning the division, we're gonna finish number 2 in the West, so we'll play one of the 2 wild cards.
yeah.
So
I'm excited. I'm
it's
excited.
it's curious to see who it's gonna end up being because I mean, Minnesota's been on a tear lately,
Yeah.
and they're slowly catching up to Nashville. So it's like this whole Western Conference race, like the
It's
Central
just
Division is by far, and I will say this and
the
I will
next
die on this mountain. The Central
it's
Division is the toughest division in hockey.
in all of hockey. Yes. I agree with
Like,
you.
it is the toughest division in hockey. And I don't
The
know what
next
it is
2
about Colorado sports. We always get stuck in the toughest divisions in any sport we're in.
always, always.
Like, it makes no
Um,
sense to me.
I don't know, but I love the next few weeks of hockey because it just becomes like
It becomes
playoff.
playoff hockey because every
It
point's
becomes
crucial.
just it's intense and it's a next level, but it's not quite playoff level, and I just
But when
I
when
love it.
what's kinda nice about it too is, like, during this time, the refs kind of put their whistle in the pocket and let them play. You don't get a lot of crazy, like, stupid,
I
random, like,
know, 'cause
dumb calls because the
freaking
Edmonton game, holy crap.
The Blues got on a shot on Gerard last night right off the bat. They punched him in the head before the face-off. I was like,
Yeah, the refs are starting to put their whistle away because they know
and
they're
I
just letting these guys
appreciate
fight
that.
for
Let the
like,
boys
I like
play.
that kinda hockey. Let the boys
I
play.
do. I like that kind of hockey. Let the boys play.
Well, let's go
Well,
into
I think it's time to go into our serious note of the
our
night.
serious, sad note. 2
Is
days ago, it was informed of us that former Avalanche left wing Chris Simon passed away,
HBCU.
suffering from CTE,
It's believed,
believed. But
and
it's always
unfortunately,
sad to see one of our own go away. Like we only had him for 1 season, but he was a crucial part of our '96 Cup. He came here.
yeah.
He came here with Quebec when we made the move,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
like he had a
And then
long tenured career. Like
he played with
he
7 different clubs, but the year that we won the cup, he had 34 points and 250 penalty minutes. He was a
He
known
was
goalie.
our goon. He
He
was
was
our enforcer who we had
if
before Scott
anyone
Parker
messed
came around.
yeah, if anyone messed with Sakic or Forsberg
He was
or
dropping the gloves.
a that's yeah, and unfortunately, he paid with his life.
Like it's really sad. I mean, like
And, I think it brings up the Matt Rempe and fighting and stuff because
well, it's kind of like going into the concussion issue. I mean, Daniel Carcillo was one of the big people that was trying to make it a known issue, and
mhm,
he had a lot of head injuries playing in Arizona, and it caused him to
mhm,
basically like he lost his career because he got traded over to Philly, and they expected him to just fight, and he was
and that was
like
it,
just
and
done.
he couldn't.
So now he's a big advocate for this, looking after and like treating the CTE issue, and he's a
Mhm,
big advocate for that. And like I will even agree, it's a big problem, but
it is.
you can't take fighting out of the game. You have to
No,
let the players police themselves because
yeah,
if you don't, there's
it
cheap shots that are going to happen and even worse injuries.
exactly. I mean, if you are a true hockey fan and if you've gone down the rabbit hole of fighting in hockey, it is actually a very important part of
It's
hockey.
huge.
And it actually, as crazy as it sounds, and as much as people are gonna be like, "What? This is super controversial." It keeps the game safer.
It does. It really does. That's why I said, if you don't let the players police themselves by having that big guy that goes out there and beats on somebody who's been hitting cheap
Yeah.
shots on your star players, you're just going to end up with star players constantly injured because they're going to take liberties and
Mhm.
just
If
go
you
after
if
players and
any if
cheap shot.
any if any viewers out there are interested in it's about I think it's about a 45-minute video on YouTube called The Code, and it goes into the history of fighting in hockey and why it's important and how it polices the
There's
league.
also
And
another one. It's a documentary. It was on Prime for a while called Ice Guardians.
yes, that is
That is an
amazing.
absolutely phenomenal
Yeah. So if
documentary
you
on, like, the role of enforcers and
Yeah. So if any viewers out there are interested like why true hockey fans will say hockey is or fighting is important in hockey, those are two amazingly done documentaries that kind of educate why the fighting happens and why it is important.
well,
So
let's
yeah,
talk about Chris Simon's
Chris
career here,
Simon is
though.
quite known for his fighting ability because he finished his career with 1,824 penalty minutes and 305 points in 864 games.
Yeah, he had, 144 goals in his long tenured career? I mean,
Mhm.
like, after we got the cup with Chris Simon, we did trade him over to the Capitals the
Mhm.
following year after we won the cup, but
He
that
spent
was
the
a
bulk
big
of his he spent the bulk of his career with Washington.
but, like, us trading him over to Washington was actually a big thing for us because we traded for Scott Parker,
Right.
and he became the
Uh,
replacement goon, the replacement
or
enforcer, and he had a long tenured,
no.
career with us,
Well
and he
documented
still lives
career.
out here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, Chris Simon had a remarkable,
Yeah.
remarkable career.
Yeah. So
Like,
he played after the Capitals. He also played for Chicago, New York Rangers, Calgary,
he was
the
with the
Islanders,
Islanders too at one point.
and then Minnesota, and then finished with Minnesota.
Yeah, his final season was 2008, and then I think he went and played in the KHL for a few years after he ended his
I
NHL career.
Yeah, he played in the KHL for 5 seasons and was a two-time All-Star while he played in the KHL.
Which, like, it shows you, like, just because you're a big enforcer and you can fight doesn't mean you're not gonna be a good goal producer as well. Like, he was crucial when he was on the ice, and, like,
Mhm.
my heart goes out to
Yeah,
his family, and,
he really was.
like, it's it's
Yeah,
heartbreaking to hear about, like,
he's
just
yeah,
fellow hockey players that are just losing their struggles and battles with CTE, and, like, it breaks
yeah.
my heart.
It's
Well,
it's
regardless, thoughts
heartbreaking and
and prayers to his family, and
yeah.
we will never forget this, Chris. You'll
Nope,
forever be an
we will
Ab in
not.
our hearts.
Yep. Yes, for sure.
So,
Well, look at the schedule coming up and close out our show.
yeah, I'm for that. As we were
Okay.
talking earlier, we've got Friday at 7 o'clock. We got Columbus at home.
Yep.
Then we have Sunday. We
Pittsburgh.
have Pittsburgh coming, and it's a 12 o'clock game. It's a matinee game at home.
Weird time.
Yeah, see, I'm used to matinee games always being like 1 or 2 o'clock, but, like,
That's
every once in a
late.
while we get those
Really.
weird random 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. starts, and it's like I don't know how
What's
I
going
feel
on?
about those games.
I know. I don't think the
But, like,
players like them either.
regardless of that, though, like, these two games are crucial. Like, we really need those 4 points. But, like,
Yeah.
what's really awesome about this upcoming bit of schedule is we have a 5 game homestand. It's like one of the longest homestands we've had in a while
While it's
because they've
yeah.
been like the way Bettman set up the schedule this year, he screwed us with tons
Oh,
of
man.
big, long road trips.
Yeah.
And we're
He
not the only ones who've had the issue with that. I think Minnesota
No,
had the big issue with that,
there's been a couple, and
and I
it's
think
been
Vancouver
more of,
also
like
had an issue with it too because they had a,
yeah.
like, 9-game road trip
Yeah,
earlier in the season.
Vancouver, they were, like, on the road 9 out of 12 days or some craziness.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
what they thought was they were doing with this schedule, but it's kinda
I
working
think
out
they
for
just
us in a sense,
blindfolded
but
they blindfolded someone, spun him around, gave him a couple shots, and they started throwing darts at teams, and they're like, "Good, put it on the board."
and then so after we have Pittsburgh on Sunday, Tuesday
Canadian.
we have the Canadians here at 7 o'clock,
Yeah,
which is that's what we've got upcoming for,
and the
up until next week's
Canadians
show, which is, I mean, 3 crucial games that we really need all 6 points.
yeah, yeah,
Because if we don't get all 6 points, like, that's just gonna tighten this Central Division race up, and it's already tight as it
mhm,
is.
yeah, for sure. We need yes, we need all of we need to continue winning at home.
Yes. Well, I mean, what's kinda nice is even after, like, last night's game, our schedule kinda broke up a little bit. We've been having a couple days off in between games, and that's been really big
That's
because we had
been
that stretch of games where it was every other
every
night
other
for, like, an entire month,
month. I think it was
and we
almost
were
30 days.
traveling a lot too with a lot of it being on the road, and it's
Mhm.
exhausting.
Oh, I can't imagine, and the
So being
time
able to have, like, these couple days off in between this upcoming game to be able to get home and, set up again for Columbus Friday, like, it's gonna probably benefit us more than it's gonna harm us is having a little bit of rest.
yeah, I think it'll be good. I think it will be very good.
Well, we'll close her out right there, huh?
Yep, close her out, Kaiser.
Well, thanks for joining us here at Blizzard Warning. We enjoyed having you. Till next week, I'm Kyzer Riddell. Join me, Jenna Chavez.
Have a good night.
Salute.
Bye.